In today's video, I'm testing and reviewing Dollar Tree's faux leather. I'll show you how it will cut on the Cricut machine and what I think of it. This came out over a year ago and I'm finally getting around to making this video. I picked up 3 different colors. I have a brownish color, a blue color, and a white. These are $1.25 each, and the size is 11.75 inches by 20 inches. This comes out to 77 cents per square foot. I had to have my husband help me figure that out. But I feel like that's a good price compared to faux leather on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to be making a Father's Day keychain. I am going to create an offset with the faux leather, and I will have a design that I'll be cutting out of heat transfer vinyl, and I'll be adding that to the leather. I found this idea from a fellow Cricut content creator. Her YouTube channel name is DIY by Cess. About a year ago, she made personalized name keychains with an offset, and it's such a great idea. I'll leave a link for her video in my description box. I would definitely recommend subscribing to her YouTube channel. After opening the faux leather, I am super impressed. It is thin, but I've worked with other faux leather that felt similar. If you are wanting to work with a thicker leather, then I would pass on this, but I am really liking it so far. I'm going to upload my SVG first. I can leave a link down below for this SVG. What I want to do first is size this, and I'm going to make it 2 inches for the width. I zoomed in so you can see it a little bit better. With these keychains, you want to do an offset. With this type of SVG, you could grab a circle from the shapes over here, but I am actually going to do an offset so I can show you how to use that. I'm going to click on offset. Here you can adjust how big you want the offset to be. I am going to lower it down. I think that looks pretty good. I'll hit apply. I want this to be solid, and as you can see, it has 2 holes in it. To fix this, all you have to do is click on the shape, go over to contour, then you can just click on those little pieces. You can hit the X or just click out of the box, and that easily fixes it. I'm going to be using the maroon faux leather, so I'm just going to change it to that color. You don't have to do this, but sometimes I like to kind of visualize it. Next, what I need to do is duplicate this because I will be gluing it to the back. The easiest way to duplicate something in Cricut Design Space is to hit Command D if you're on a Mac or Control D if you are on a Windows. So I'll just hit Command D. I also need to flip this, so I will go up to flip and select flip horizontal. I need something that will connect this together, so I'll go over to shapes, grab a rectangle. Then I am just going to hit unlock and kind of just eyeball this. I think that looks pretty good. I am going to right click and send this to the back. Then I can kind of see where I want these to line up. I want to make sure it goes over it enough. And actually, I'm going to send it back to the front to kind of see where it's at. I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to highlight over all 3, and I want to line all of this up as well. So I'll go up to align, then select distribute horizontally. Then I will select distribute vertically. Now I want to combine all of these together. So I could hit the weld button, but I do really like using the unite button instead. That way I can easily undo it if I want to. I don't really use the weld button as much anymore. I'll click unite. I think the only thing that I like about the weld button is that it makes it one layer. So sometimes it can be a little easier to see, but most of the time I use the unite button. I'm going to send this to the front. This will be the leather. This is going to be heat transfer vinyl. It's going to be going on this side. Then I'll be putting a key ring here, and I will bend this over to the back and glue it together. Now I'm ready to hit make it. I'm going to mirror my design for the HTV. I'll hit continue. The font on this is super tiny, and it's only 2 inches, so I'm hoping it'll weed out okay. I'll select everyday iron-on for this setting, then I will come back and show you which setting I will use for the faux leather. I'm using a scrap piece of HTV. I place it shiny side or carrier sheet down, and this project is so great if you have a lot of scrap vinyl laying around, which I always do, so it's nice to use that up. Now that the Cricut's done cutting that out, I'll show you what setting I use for the faux leather. I'm going to click on Browse All Materials. I'll type in Faux. I'm going to select Faux Leather Paper Thin. Place my leather down face up, then I grab my brayer tool to press it down into the mat so that it doesn't pick up when the Cricut's cutting it. If it's not sticking down, you can add some painter's tape to the side as well. Then I removed the leather. The Cricut just cut it out so well on that cut setting. There was no snagging, it just came out perfect. Next, I'm going to weed out the HTV. This looks bigger on the video, but it's only 2 inches and has really tiny letters. So I decided to try a hack I learned on TikTok. When I get to the tiny little letters around the circle, I basically just rip it off like a Band-Aid, and that works so well. It kept the letters on the carrier sheet. I'm using my Cricut Easy Press Mini for this. I set it to the low setting. I line my HTV up on the leather, then grab my Teflon sheet to place over it just to help protect the leather and the vinyl. Then I run my Easy Press Mini over it for 30 seconds. I just looked off the Cricut settings and that's what it recommends for vinyl on leather. Once it's done, I remove the carrier sheet right away because this HTV is a warm peel. I think it got a little too hot because you can see a little bit of the sticky residue around the black pieces of the HTV. It's kind of hard to see, but I show it a little bit there. I decided to try another one with the blue faux leather. I ran my Easy Press Mini over it for 20 seconds instead of 30, and that worked so well. I bend my leather just a little bit to add my key ring, and you want to do this before adding your glue. I add a little bit of hot glue in the center first, then I fold the leather over and press that down. If you don't want to use a glue gun, you can use E6000. I think there's leather glue out there. There's adhesive sheets, so there's some other options as well. Then I added hot glue around the border of the leather, and I also decided to add some hot glue on the center. When I was done with that, I folded it over and it didn't look quite lined up, so I had to lift it off and place it back down. Anything that's kind of this round shape can be tricky to line up. I felt like the hot glue made it a little uneven, especially since the leather is so thin. Also, if you don't have it lined up just right, you can take an X-Acto knife and clean it up a little bit. But look how cool these keychains are. I made one with every color of faux leather and I'm obsessed with them. I think they turned out super fun. You can personalize these however you want. I feel like there definitely is more high quality faux leather out there, so you might have to just test it out for yourself, but overall I'm really impressed. These turned out so fun. These are very inexpensive to make and I think they would just make really great gifts. I would love to hear what you've made with this faux leather. Let me know what you think in the comments. I always love talking to all of you guys in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I would love it if you subscribed if you are new to my channel.